John and Darren's office chairs provided by GT Omega Racing. You can check them out at gtomegaracing.com. This show brought to you by
Welcome to This Week Inside Sim Racing, February 10th, 2016 edition. I'm John Sable alongside Darren Ganji, and another full show this week. We're talking KartKraft, F1 2015, Assetto Corsa, rFactor 2, iRacing, Project Cars, and American Truck Simulator, which is why Darren has his trucker cap on.
That's right. I forgot to wear it in our American Truck Simulator first look. And if you haven't checked it out, check out our channel. We posted that last night with John the Hammer Sable.
That's right.
At the wheel.
Gears be worried. But yeah, so we're going to talk about a little bit about that test drive. We also have released our AccuForce review since last week, and that iRacing Daytona 24 Hours documentary called Night Moves. So, and then we also have more simulators showing up. Yep. Because we need more.
Yes, we got lots of in-studio happenings to talk about, and the super secret unboxing that we're going to show you guys. And we have some new Logitech keyboards we're going to show you guys as well.
Yes. So, but before we get to all that, let's talk about iRace for Life prize packages.
Let's. So yeah, I've got the main prize package for iRace for Life. Scion has hooked me up with all that information. So to top it off, Main Performance PC is going to give for the grand prize $2,500 in store credit or site credit. So that means you'll be able to buy a PC. I believe he's discontinued the sim pedals.
Yes.
For now. He's redesigning them, but so those won't be available, and then he's also doing some other stuff, but man, $2,500 towards a PC.
You can build quite a PC for $2,500.
That's where I'd put or Obuto too. You can get an Obuto Revolution and then some towards the PC. Anyway, so there's that. Sim Experience is giving away 10 SimVibe licenses. iAnalyze Racing is going to give away some year-long memberships and some shorter ones. Thrustmaster, he's got some T500 and T300 wheel and pedal sets, and I believe a T3PA pedal set. Z1 SimDash, they're going to give away the Z1 software. He's got some Derek Spear Designs button boxes to give away, and some iRacing credits and other merchandise as usual.
Yeah, so lots of swag if you go.
And great prizes, plus great racing. And by the way, Time Runner, is that Travis, by the way? Because if it is, you keep changing your screen names on me, and I can't keep track of who you are. So tell me in chat if that's you. I think it is, but Travis is a regular at iRace for Life. Great guy, and really looking forward for you to meet him.
Yep.
And to see him again. So anyway, let me know if that's you. So anyway, on to some news.
Yes, and the first news item is the F1 2015 PC patch. Before we go to there, actually. Came out last week, and kind of the big talking point of this patch was getting it up to date with the second half of the year F1 car styles, and then wheel support for the Thrustmaster T150, and for what we're watching here, the AccuForce.
Yes, and then there were some other fixes that they came out with as well. Actually, pretty much everything else's fixes. Added strict corner cutting rules, fixed RPM and flag information sent to UDP out-gauge devices, fixed some multiplayer issues, and then a sports update. So as John, or no, Yeah, no,
Yep,
I'm on the right one still. Updated the car model and livery for Mercedes, Ferrari, Williams, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, you tried the AccuForce. We were trying this with just foundation feedback here. But we booted up F1 2015 with the native AccuForce support yesterday or the day before.
Yep.
Felt pretty damn good, didn't it?
It did.
I was pretty amazed because a lot of times with the AccuForce, the default force feedback or game force feedback doesn't always feel that great. And we use what's called this foundation feedback. Basically it's taking telemetry and data from the game, and Sim Commander, by Sim Experience, is creating its own force feedback effects, so more raw force feedback. And that was just game force feedback that we tried. Not in that video, but that was foundation. But we tried it with just raw game force feedback, and it felt pretty damn awesome. And I've heard that they're making it, it's going to feel even better in F1 2016.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
If it comes out.
Yeah, F1 2015, it overall has pretty good, I feel like, force feedback and physics. And when we fired it up with the Fanatic CSW V2 base, it was like, oh wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah. And
it's like it's in there. It's just kind of all that ancillary, like not having bugs, and that title could be really good.
It could. Now, before we move on to some more news, a couple things I wanted to touch on here at the top of the show. First of all, we'd appreciate a thumbs up.
Yes.
But also, if you're watching this on demand and you want to join us for the live show, we're going to try to figure out some places to have this posted to try to get some more live viewers and to alert our potential live viewers. Because I talked to Frank at Rickmotech during the week, and he's like, what time is your show? I can't find the time. So anyway, if you want to join us live, every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. And I apologize for not giving you the GMT time. Just go to like worldclock.com or something like that. I think you can even do it in Windows.
Yeah.
But if you want to join us, 4 o'clock Eastern Time every Wednesday, that's when this live show kicks off. So anyway, back to the news.
Back to the news.
KartKraft trailer. We overlooked that, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't see the notes there. But KartKraft released what they're calling their official Steam launch trailer. And, oh, I didn't have any notes, that's why. And, yeah, I mean,
we don't have to have notes for this. It looks awesome.
It does look awesome. They're saying it's coming out the first quarter on Steam Early Access.
It's built on the Unreal Engine. Did you know that?
Yeah, and that is interesting. But this trailer definitely looks great. I mean, I love how none of the drivers have necks. They must be wearing like the fireproof socks or something. no skin showing. But no, I mean, this has been in development for a long time. For a while, it was known as Kart Sim.
Yeah.
And then they relaunched it as KartKraft, which, I mean, sounds like a good name to me.
Yep.
And yeah, just looking forward to actually finally getting our hands on it.
We don't have that image, do we?
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay. But this looks incredible. I mean, if this isn't, I've seen.
Look at the bounce in the bodywork.
Well, I've seen it where it says this is actual game. Look at this, the on-board camera.
Yeah.
The sense of speed looks incredible.
Yes.
And I know Zach.
Hey, look, my gloves.
Yep. The lead developer on this, I believe his name is Zach Griffin. Actually, I can check on my Skype. Yep, Zach Griffin has been working on this for years.
Yes.
For a long time. And then he basically formed this Black Delta development. There it is. I love that shot of the guy flying off. I mean,
that's amazing.
And what I'm wondering is, are you going to get hurt? I mean,
yeah.
or is it just going to be resetting your back on the cart? I mean, I think you should get hurt from that. But yeah, this looks incredible. I'm really looking forward to giving this a try.
Yep. So that's, I mean, like I said, Q1, it should be any month now. Steam Early Access.
Q1's almost, I mean, we're halfway through Q1.
Yeah, we're getting there. So, and I do like that they're going the Steam Early Access route. I mean, as we've seen with, recent history, Assetto Corsa, Dirt Rally, I think it's the best way to develop a game.
By the way, that was Travis.
Ah, perfect.
He commented on, funny thing, Travis, I was thinking about you I'll talk about an American Truck Simulator. That's another subject here. So anyway, let's move on here, and then we'll get to that.
Okay, next rolling on to Assetto Corsa. They have released a fair amount of images over the past week, comparing the current in-game graphics of the track versus what it's going to be like in update 1.5, which is coming. It's supposed to be out soon. You know, it's one of those hashtag soon type updates. So you're seeing, like I said, you're seeing the current game at the top, the new graphics at the bottom, and the big thing they're doing is they now have better laser scanning and modeling techniques, where now you're noticing on the bottom half image more trackside objects off the track than you're seeing than what we currently have. Boy, I'm not tripping over myself bad at all. And
hey, wait, you're not even tired today, supposedly.
I know, I'm actually awake today. And then you're also noticing some new texturing on the track. You see the sand pits, they're putting up there's more signage there around the track. Of course, I will say, they've put up a lot more Assetto Corsa banners, which always drives me nuts. It's like a really big pet peeve of mine to be driving a game and seeing a bunch of banners for that game at tracks. Because it's not realistic, and I know I'm playing that game. I'm in it.
Well, yeah, but you know what? On the flip side, there's so many people posting YouTube videos and stuff.
Well, and
if you look at it from that standpoint,
I thought about that too, but I'm also like, iRacing does the watermark. I don't know why more people can't do that. But.
Yeah, no, that's a good thought on that. You know, I'm concerned about with the enhanced tracks is it going to affect performance? You know, frame rate performance and stuff.
Sure.
You know, because that's always a concern for me when a company is adding more graphics or more buildings, whatever it may be.
Yes.
The last thing I want it to do is affect performance. Great thing about just about every modern title is you can turn things off.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, you can turn things off, and Assetto Corsa also is one of the best running titles out there.
Yes.
So that's a positive.
It's optimized pretty nicely.
At least it's starting at a high point.
Yep.
So let's see. Now rolling from Assetto Corsa, let me do something real quick here. And now talking about rFactor 2. And there was an update, I believe it was yesterday, build 1052, and an update to the Renault Megane trophy.
Megane. How do you? So we're going to give you three options here. You guys maybe can help us out. Do you pronounce it? Because we don't have that car here, so
no.
We don't hear it advertised. Is it A, Megane, B, Megane, or C, Megane, or D, Megane?
Yeah.
We would pronounce it based on how we were taught English, the English language here. Megane.
Yes.
That's how it looks like it's pronounced. Anyway, so which one is it? A, B, C, or D?
So anyway, back to the updates, and really just mostly a bug fix update. They had a couple making a few little features. I know they changed some of the control settings to help if you're disabled to be able to drive the game, so that's really cool. And then...
Everybody's saying B, Megane.
Megane? Okay. And speaking of
Megane.
And then there was the update to it. I think it's version 1.02 now.
Thanks, guys, by the way.
And pretty much they've upgraded from the 2009 spec, 2012 spec, which gets you a larger fuel tank. I believe it's now 100 liters. And now you also have a center lug nut rim, so you can change tires faster. It has more horsepower. I think it was the original.
Yeah, I'm always worried about changing my tires faster.
Yes, exactly. I think the original one was 360 horsepower. Now it's up. They didn't say what it's up to now, though.
That was one of the first cars, from what I remember, one of the first quality cars modded in rFactor. And we ran in a league. I think it was the first ever league I ever ran with those cars. In rFactor, first ever rFactor league I ran in.
Yeah, they're very popular in rFactor 2, and a lot of leagues run them.
It's a great car. It's a fun car. I mean, it always has been. So
yep.
Renault Megane.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're done with rFactor.
It's not Renault.
Renault? That's how we would pronounce it here, but
yep.
we we at least watched enough Formula One to know Renault.
Yes.
iRacing, they came out with a video yesterday with some.
He's wiping his nose. You see that?
Yeah. Look, and checking behind him, some in-development animation for the lollipop guy, which I've nicknamed Steve, because I think it should just be called Steve.
What makes when you said that, I was wondering if it's Steve Meyer.
Oh no. Of course, I'm curious who this guy is. I'm not sure who he is.
Is that Kevin Bobbitt?
No, that's not Kevin Bobbitt. I'm not sure who that is, but that's probably whoever his name is. That's probably who it should be named after.
Well, that was his animation.
It's his animation.
That looks sweet.
That looks really good. I'm also wondering if that's DX11 there, because iRacing also announced yesterday that DX11 is coming in the season.
I'm sure that's part of it.
It probably is. Is coming in the Season 2 build next month. And how they're doing it is the current DX9 will be the default graphic setting, and then you can choose DX11 as an option, which I believe they're going to have it in that drop down.
Play that video again really quick.
Sure.
Sorry, Wim was saying that He is floating.
No, he is floating. Yeah. At the end of the video, it looks like, yeah, he's floating a little bit. Yeah. Again, that's why they throw the in development tag on there. But yeah, DX11 is going to be an option in Season 2, and then when Season 3 rolls around, it's going to become the default, and DX9 is going to become the option. And then DX9 is going to go away because it's terrible.
On the build after that.
Yeah.
It's going to completely go away.
Yeah.
Because I was reading, too, that Tony Gardner was saying that it's just going to be too hard to keep
Absolutely.
To keep developing for both.
Yes.
Which makes sense. It's like DX9 is
old,
dated, and it's going to be so nice to get. Now, you tried it in the alpha a little bit.
I did.
And one of the first things you noticed was that your frame rates were consistent.
Yes. If you guys remember back to the video I did of the EVGA GTX 970 FTW Plus, long name. If you remember back to that review I did a few weeks ago, really saw the very big difference between DX9 and DX11 titles. And DX11 titles ran really solid frame rates within like a plus minus like 5.
Not a huge variance.
Not a huge variance. Where DX9
bouncing
all over the place, and it was causing huge, screen lag and slowdown and catches. And yeah, iRacing DX11, it's looking like the other DX11 titles, so we're really looking forward to that.
Me too. That's going to be a welcome addition.
Oh, and had someone on Facebook say that, oh no, DX11, there goes my frame rates. It's going to be the opposite. I don't think it's going to be a huge gain, but it's going to be better.
Well, and you might not see. I'm thinking that you're not going to see this huge variance or fluctuation. You're not going to see frame rates like you do now in DX9, where if you're in on the back straight at Daytona.
Uh-huh.
You're getting like 300-400 frames a second, and then it drops down to 90.
Yeah.
In the infield. I don't think you're going to see the 400 frames a second.
Yes.
On the high end, I think it's gonna balance out like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping, and
Yes.
it just seems that way. And another thing I'm really hoping for with the X11 is day to night transitions.
Yes.
That would really make endurance racing just incredible.
Yeah.
Because we've done it. We used to do it in rFactor, and that day to night transition was one of the coolest things about racing, doing the endurance races, because it's like, am I going to be driving at night or am I going to be driving in the day? Yep. And it's definitely different driving at night, especially depending on the track.
Yeah.
Especially like when we go to Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
Le Mans is
dark,
very dark in a lot of sections, and Daytona's lit up, almost like daytime.
Yes.
So it's going to be really interesting to see, and even just going to Daytona from day to night is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be
a difference.
It's going to be a lot better, yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for the most with DX11. Well, I think it's actually frame rates first.
Frame rates / eliminating the stuttering.
Yes.
Which I think that's also a big reason for the push of DX11 is DX9 is just iRacing has been having some stuttering issues that some people have, some people don't. And I think getting DX11 is going to solve that quickly. So enough on iRacing. Now on to a mod that's kind of interesting, and this was released also. Well, first off, by the way, this is a great video. this is a mod released by, I don't have their name off the top of my head, Modding Dojo, or not Motto, Machine Dojo modding team. Sorry, I didn't write their name down. And this is there it is. This is a mod for Project Cars, which the fascinating thing is, Project Cars isn't designed to be moddable, and so allegedly it's not possible. But this team has gotten together, and they have created the 2015 Audi R8 LMS GT3 car, and put it into Project Cars. And I know there's a whole story behind this of how they were kind of sounds like somewhat allowed from Project Cars and from the team. And honestly, I'm not caught up on it, but regardless, now we have a GT3 car, a current GT3 car that isn't in Project Cars, now is thanks to the team. So I think that's very cool. And they said they're going to do more cars, so we'll see. What are you laughing about?
Just a comment for I've got it. Rotten Steam, your Q&A question. I'll answer that when we get to Q&A.
We did have someone ask before the show, speaking of GT3 cars and Audi R8, asked if we watched the 12 hours of Bathurst. And I literally watched, like, all of it.
I just watched bits and pieces. Funny thing is, I came in a few times at some, like, major moments.
Yes.
Like where there was the Audi was, like, spun in the Audi corner.
Yeah.
But, man, talk about... it's just a really tough track to spin. I mean, if you spin in going up the hill,
yes,
it is so tight. There's like no runoff, and there's just no place to turn around.
Exactly.
That's a tough race.
It is, and I thought it was a great race. Shane Van Gisbergen. I always forget that wrong.
Van Gisbergen.
He's an avid iRacer. Even ran the iRacing Daytona 24 a couple weeks ago before he jumped in and ran the actual 24. And then a week later, he's back in Australia, and he was killing it in that McLaren.
He was on the pole, wasn't he?
He was on pole with like a new track record, and then he set like the fastest race lap around the mountain ever or something.
Who won that race?
He won it.
Oh, did he?
He
Not
did.
him.
Well,
alone.
Yeah,
his
team, which they were
nice.
They were looking kind of rough because they got behind in the middle part of the race, and the Nissan had come to the front, and so had some of the Mercedes SLS teams, and they'd fallen back to like fifth, and then then when he jumped in the car with like 2 hours left, he got a speeding penalty leaving pit road.
Oh, really?
And then finally he caught a caution where I think maybe it was when that Audi spun out on the mountain. They had a full course caution, and that got him caught up, and then he was able to go and make some moves.
Nice.
He was flying out there. So was the driver for Nissan. I can't remember his name, Japanese driver, but he's amazing. So it was a great race. I love everything about that race. I love Mount Panorama. I love the GT3 cars. So I was very entertained.
Yeah, it was cool to watch. We were talking about too. I would rather race those cars in a long Bathurst race. And Aussie guys, don't get upset with this comment, but I'd much rather race those GT3 cars than the Aussie V8s there.
Yes, the V8s are much more of a handful. The GT3 cars, you can get around there. But yeah, the V8s are very tough. Okay, and for our last news story of the week, as we mentioned yesterday, we did a test drive and release of American Truck Simulator, and they have the news item from them yesterday was that they are coming out with a new truck very soon. This is the Kenworth W900, and I guess funny story. The development team said they want this to be kind of like the cover truck for the game sim, but they said that Kenworth wanted them to use one of their newer, more aerodynamic models. So this kind of came on a little later. But what really caught me in the same blog post where they talked about this truck coming is they didn't come out and straight say this, but through some fuzzy math of naming a couple numbers in addition, they have sold 163,000 copies on Steam.
That's in a week.
1 week. 1 week. It came out like last Wednesday or something. That is insane.
That is insane.
That is,
That's
can't-
awesome.
No, it is awesome. I mean, it's a $20 game, and obviously it has a big following, as we're seeing from the comments on YouTube.
Yeah. So this guy's asking me to unblock his account on our channel. I'm not seeing it. So Motor Gaming, whatever your name was, sorry. I'm not seeing you as blocked. I was just trying to unblock you. Sorry, we got sidetracked there. But anyway, yeah, so did you show the footage of our test drive?
No, let me
Let's get that rolling.
let me roll that up.
Cue that up, John, for us.
And queued. Maybe.
There we
are.
go.
There we go.
So there's John the Hammer at the wheel.
Okay, before we did this test drive, I had about 30 minutes.
Oh, stop making
practice,
excuses.
And I never played this before. No, I'm gonna start with excuses. But no, this was, and now we're kind of rolling into the happenings portion of the show, and there I am turning in and getting caught on the guardrail.
You actually did pretty good on the general driving.
Yeah, I got better. I got my, as I almost wiped out that car, I got my wider turning down. But I mean, it's almost like, I want to say like systems, or maybe like I said, more like a flight simulator where you have all these different things to manage. It's not only, you got to watch what's going on the road. You have to really be paying attention to your shifting, since that's kind of a whole new experience. And then, as you might see here, we had gears 1 through 6 mapped, and then to get through gears 7 through 13, I had to press the red left top button on the AccuForce, and then that triggered those gears. And then to get the gears 14 through 18, I had to go and press the black button on the wheel. So it's just like a lot of stuff going on there. I had my speed limiter we had to move over. We had that on the far right of the screen, so that had me looking over a lot.
This title probably has more buttons to map than any other racing title.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't a racing title, needless to say. But
any other sim.
yeah. Well, except for maybe flight
Except for
sims.
maybe flights, yeah.
But it's truly amazing. And the only downfall of that is that there's so many things to map. It's like you can kind of get lost.
Yes.
It's like you to do it properly, you'd have to label like your button box. Button box wasn't working, and I might have unplugged it, but the button box wasn't working for us.
Yeah.
So,
But no, this definitely requires plenty of time spent getting everything, like you said, mapped out. And someone mentioned about the rim. Yeah, that's the old school Fanatic rim, and that worked out real well. makes it look like it's a really official rig. And then there was also, we kind of questioned this during the video, and then I guess we got it clarified here later. I guess there is triple screen support, but you have to go in and edit things in the .ini
yeah, multi something.
Yeah, like multi-mod.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, we didn't have that going, so I'm sure that would have helped out a little bit, because I was having a little bit of a time seeing out the side of the truck, especially going around corners. And do we need to fast forward to the best part?
I think it's coming.
Okay.
Let's just let it roll.
We'll let it roll here, but soon we'll get to parking. Oh, there's a good shot of kind of all your information as far as where your delivery's at and your speed.
And supposedly that side UI is moved to the center with that multi-mod.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier to access.
Yeah, that would have made it a lot easier. But yeah, if I did okay driving around Los Angeles, and well, actually we're now in Las Vegas here, the wheels fell off when it came to parking.
I think we're getting there.
We're almost there. I'm not a good parker in real life with a Volkswagen GTI, much less a giant rig.
I don't know if you should be sharing that, even though you've now shared it on this show and
I've shared it on both. I'm a terrible parker. I'm a good driver. I'm a terrible parker.
So you say. I've never ridden in the car with you.
No.
So I'll have to be the judge of that.
No, it's not good.
So this is the same comment we got during the show. John the Hammer is a good sim racer, but not so much truck.
You know,
But trucker not so much.
like I said, I'll take being the good sim racer comment.
I think here comes the speed. Here it is.
Here it is. Oh yeah, I hit the wipers on it at some point. I just kind of left them on because I didn't know how to. I forgot which button we mapped it to. Oh, this. Oh man.
It is, you know what? It's tough to get the hang of parking, but once you do, once you kind of get it down, and practice it, I think if you went back now after this display, I think you would do a lot better.
Yes. And I feel like at the end there it gave me a sympathy park. I still feel like I wasn't close, but it said it was good, so.
John's a grandma.
Got my cash.
That's coming from Travis, who, by the way, so now I'll talk about Travis. So Travis, again, is one of the guys that goes to iRace for Life every year, and who I consider a friend. And Travis is a truck driver in real life. And he posted on that video, he's like, the last thing I'm going to do, this is not a title I'm going to be picking up.
Yeah.
Because the last thing he wants to do is go drive his truck for 500 miles and then get home and drive some more truck.
Yeah.
He gets home and want a sim race. So, anyway, I thought that was a great comment. But I love it. I love Euro Truck Simulator, and I like this just because it's one of the titles outside of sim racing that you can take advantage of all your gear.
Yeah.
And then it's not just about driving, it's about, managing a business, like getting to the point where you earn enough money where you can start your own, you buy your own truck and all that stuff. And I enjoy that aspect of the game. Mm-hmm. He jumped in my account initially, and I had been driving it, just driving all around, just getting all my controls set up and stuff. I think all the time is accelerated, but my driver had been driving like 13, 14 hours when John jumped in the wheel.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we hear the loud yawn, and it's basically your driver starts getting tired or fatigued, and then all of a sudden you're basically your eyes start to close a little bit, and then they'll just close all the way. Yeah. John's driving, all of a sudden he wakes back up and he's up against the freaking telephone pole. It's funny. My wife was upstairs when we were playing that, and she's like, "That was the game that was making that yawn sound? I thought it was one of you guys."
It was really loud. Yeah, no, it's a trip. I'm looking forward to playing it some more because I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So let's see. Transitioning now, want to talk about these keyboards?
Yeah, hold on a second. This Motor Sim Network. You know what? I don't know how to unblock you. I was looking through our blocked list for 5 minutes and I did not see your name. It may be a different block list for chat. And there's nothing I can do at this point. So I hate to say it. Maybe you shouldn't talk about Justin Bieber so much. But yeah, I think you're just going to have to log in with this. And I apologize for that. But you're going to have to log in with that account.
We'll work on it after the show.
So yeah, let's talk keyboards here. So we've been using, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah, because there's a reason how we got here.
Yeah, so we've been using this keyboard for a long time. This is the K400R. I wonder if
the R is the updated one.
Yeah. So we love this setup for sim racing because it eliminates the need for having a mouse.
Yes.
Which, when you're on your sim racing rig, first of all, it's a pain in the ass to have a tray for your mouse. And then most likely, every time I've had a mouse tray on my rig, it ends up falling at one point or another.
It does. So
anyway, a long time ago, I found these online. Maybe somebody pointed me to them. I don't remember. But anyway, it's wireless. Comes with a little dongle that actually you can keep back in here. This is AA batteries. And it really comes in handy. So somebody had mentioned, I think it was maybe on last week's show or the week before, that they now have the K830. So I reached out to Logitech, had them send us one. They were gracious enough to send us one. And this thing is sweet. One of John's complaints, and mine too, on the K400 is that the touchpad isn't the greatest. It works.
It feels like the original generation of touchpads where you really got to push it.
Yeah.
Where this feels like how touchpads feel like these days.
So this is the K830. Is that the number?
Yep.
K830. So this one's a little heavier.
Yes.
And it's because it's part of it, I think, is because it's got it's an integrated battery. So it's a rechargeable battery. Touchpad is a lot nicer. It's definitely pricier though. I think I've got that K400 for. I think I found it on. I think I've got a refurbished one for like $25 at one point.
Yeah, I think new they sell for about $30-$40.
Yeah, so I think it's $40. This is double. This is like $99. But it's the keypad touch is much nicer. The touchpad is much nicer. So if you're looking for a quality touchpad keyboard, and they don't endorse us at all. It's just I think it's a must-have for a sim racing rig.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're doing other stuff, you know, where you need to have a mouse, or you're doing other gaming, first-person shooter gaming or whatever, and you really need a mouse, highly recommend either the K400 or this new K830. It really makes a difference.
Yeah. No, this is nice. I think this is the way you should go. Because, you know, why not? When you're spending all this money to have this nice rig, might as well have, you know, a touchpad that's not going to drive you nuts.
Well, and a decent keyboard mouse combo is.
Oh, and these do light up.
Oh yeah.
The keys do light up, so that's nice when you're racing in a darker room.
So they also asked me if I was interested in the K380, which really has no use for sim racing, but I thought, sure, what the heck, send us one. And I told her that too. I said, listen, we're not gonna. I said I'll show it on the show because it seems pretty cool, but basically it's a Bluetooth keyboard, and this is like the true unboxing. So this is the first time. Ooh, nice. I like that. So this is the K380. So this is takes batteries, but again, this is Bluetooth. You can use it on your phone, tablet.
They show TV on here.
Yeah, you can use it with smart TVs, I'm assuming.
I'm not entirely sure how you scroll. But
And I don't know how much this is either. But anyway, I thought I'd show it to you guys. Thought it was cool.
I think this one I've seen at the stores for about that $30-$40. I think it kind of replaced, you know, this to some degree.
But then there's no touchpad, though.
There's no touchpad, so.
So Apple, iPad or iPhone, iOS 5 or later, Android tablet or smartphone, PC, Mac, Chrome OS, Apple TV. So anyway, it's pretty sweet.
Someone asked, what about us left-handers? And I'm sorry. I don't have the,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a touchpad on the left-hand side.
I haven't either.
So.
Just have to get used to it.
Gotta, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like all like this. So anyway, thanks to Logitech for sending us those. And again, that other one, if you're looking for something to type on your tablet or something like that, it would be cool. I have a tablet I would like to check it out on.
Yeah, I can see it working really well with like an iPad.
Yeah, or an iPad, exactly. I have an Android tablet. But anyway, that keyboard, this keyboard, is freaking sweet.
Yes, I'm definitely jelly. I'm like, I need to get one of those.
My only complaint about it is to get to the F keys, which are up here, because the defaults are like, oh, so this one does have the sound buttons over here.
Oh, that's nice.
But the defaults are not the F keys, so you have to hold the F button. I got to look and see if there's a way to remap that in like their software or something. Maybe get a driver or something. That's my only complaint about this keyboard.
Yes.
Other than that, it's friggin' sweet. That's what John was using in the test drive video.
Yeah, and that touchpad worked so much better than the 400 touchpad.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. What else have we been up to? The AccuForce review. So we released that. When did that come out? Sunday? Monday? I don't remember.
What?
The AccuForce review.
Yeah, I think this is Sunday night or Monday.
So here's just some clips from that, and as always, plenty of debate.
Actually, back to the last one really quick. Let's pause that. There's some more
Next
questions. Yeah, let's stick with the questions about that Logitech.
Okay.
So yeah, the keys are lit. It's not going to light up. Oh yeah, they did light up there. I don't know if you guys can see it.
They aren't the brightest.
You can. Yeah, now it's dimming again, so you can see it. And then somebody else said you can switch the F keys in the software. So
Okay.
I'm gonna do that because I don't like. I'd rather have the F push the other stuff that I don't use that often or ever.
Yes.
So anyway, sorry. Let's go back to the AccuForce review that we posted this week. By the way, Wim got his AccuForce. Posted a picture on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Sweet. So, yep, that went out to the world. There was lots of footage of me driving semi-poorly in the...
You did pretty good.
around.
Once you got the hang of it.
What were we driving? We were driving the old school F1 car and GameStop car.
Yeah, the Senna.
Yeah, the Senna car, the old McLaren style.
There's me doing some drifting and Live for Speed.
That looks that's always the cool thing with that rim. When you do let go, that it comes back to center for drifting. That always looks so cool.
So yeah, we posted that this week. Check it out if you haven't yet. Just go to our channel and check out recent videos. But long overdue review of the AccuForce.
Yep. And then something else, well, not show-wise, but last week we talked about the RC N1, and we're going to be getting one to review.
Yeah, RC reached out to me during the week and asked if we'd be interested in reviewing it, and I said sure. So we also found some prices on this, and the base model, which you're
seeing here.
Yeah, is just the only difference is the seat.
Yes.
Not counting accessories goes for $12.99.
$12.49.
Okay, and then you can get one with an Alcantara seat. That's like
$15.49.
$15, so $300 more.
Yes.
Interesting to see be interesting to see a Alcantara seat. I don't think I've ever sat in one.
Yeah, that will be interesting. But nope, as you see, a pretty, as we said last week, a pretty heavy-duty rig there.
Yeah, my pricing was off too. I was guessing $1,500 to $2,000. Now I bet with all the accessories.
Yeah, the accessories...
Actually, I was close because the Alcantara one is $1,500.
That's true. Yeah, the accessories kind of run somewhere between like $80 and $120 a piece, depending on what you get.
With all the accessories in the Alcantara seat, it's probably close to $2,000.
It's getting upwards towards $2,000. Well, and then shipping.
Yeah, and then there's a D-Box version. Actually, I think our seat, America, had free shipping. At least they used to.
Okay.
And then they have a D-Box version that the 3-post goes for like $16,000, $15,999.
And this isn't on the N1 because we don't have prices for that yet. This is on the.
Or was it? Was it?
This was the other one, the RS6.
RS1.
RS1. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Those RS1 prices.
So and then they have a 4-post D-Box for like $19,000.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I have because we were talking about the prices and we were like, oh, I wonder how much the D-Box costs, and Darren was like, oh, it's going to be a lot. And I was kind of blown away.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we got the Aussie Stig with us.
Perfect.
What up, Aussie Stig? Aussie. So what else? Oh, so some other stuff we got going on this week. John, you've been working a lot on the Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo review. Yep,
been working on that, and I want to have that out before next week's live show. And it's been what's so interesting is we brought up last week kind of some initial thoughts and rally titles, and got a lot of like blowback from people like, this game is,
how dare you,
this Sebastian Loeb is great, and I fired up on our second computer here, and I was kind of like, I don't think this is great. And with that said, there definitely are some things, bug-wise that aren't great. But I went and I was noticing
multi-controller. There's no multi-controller support.
Yeah, because originally I was going to run it on my system, and I had T300 wheel, Fanatic pedals, and it wouldn't work. So I had to go and pull the Fanatics off, put on the T3PA Thrustmaster pedals, and plug that into the wheel, and then I was able to play. But before that, I was over on the second PC with the Thrustmaster gear, and I was just noticing a lot of lag, a lot of signal lag, input lag, and it was like not drivable. So then after I made the change, I went back to my system, and I've been able to drive it a little more, or I can drive it better now. There's definitely still noticeable input lag from the game.
And no triple screen support.
God.
Hey, be careful what you say. We're gonna upset the SLRE.
Well, what blew my mind is that normally when we say no triple screen support, it means we're just stretching a single screen.
Right.
This is the first title that I've played, I believe, where it doesn't stretch. And not only does it not stretch, it only does 1920 by 1080, so I can't take advantage of my ultra wide.
Yeah.
So I'm running black bars. So I'm running my screen, and I'm not running a whole lot of frames per second.
So I want to counter our negativity towards SLRE. There are some positives to that title.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some very challenging stages, quite a few stages.
Yes.
The car models look great.
Yep.
And there's a lot you can do in the game.
Yes.
It's just, again, my biggest complaint is, listen, they have been developing this title since 2010, when the original WRC1 came out. And then they did 2, 3, 4, and now this is basically their WRC5. And honestly, they haven't fixed a lot of the bugs that existed in the previous versions, or added additional support for like triple screens, multi-controllers.
Yeah.
So that is my biggest complaint. And then really comparing it to how almost every other title runs, it's just lacking graphically the fluidity of the graphics.
Yeah.
So I want to make this clear. I want that title to be great, and they still can do it. You know, they can still patch this title. But that I was expecting more.
Yeah, and I will say, now that I've been able to drive it on my computer with my monitors and getting off the TV that we have on the second system, between the input lag between the game and the input lag that a TV has, I couldn't. It was like not drivable. I was constantly chasing the car, and I just could not get any kind of feel of the physics or the force feedback. Now that I have it on my system, even though there is still input lag, it's at a level now where I can drive.
It's more drivable.
And I can drive around it. I'm feeling more of the physics and the force feedback, and they do feel pretty good. Like it kind of shocked me how much of a difference it was going from a setup where it wasn't drivable to now that I can, and that it does feel pretty decent. So.
What was I gonna say? Totally spaced. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me.
But anyway, going to continue doing more driving and get a review out sooner than later.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. PS4 version. Somebody was mentioning the PS4 version. We got it. We got a code for it. We're gonna fire that up.
Yeah.
See if it's better. Because Wim just pointed out that this title is mainly developed for the console.
Yes.
So that's where it should shine, and we'll boot it up, see what we think.
That reminded me of another bug I had with the keyboard that made it like, this is very clearly a console-developed title.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we'll fire it up there, and yeah, I'm interested to see if it's how it is with the PlayStation then on a TV, and how that works.
Yep, should be interesting.
So, let's see. We kind of covered everything. Like I said, we released the Night Moves documentary. Saw a lot of nice comments from that, so appreciate that. I don't have any. I was lazy. I didn't grab any footage. Well, I wasn't lazy. We're only limited to so many scenes in XSplit, and we are like jam-packed this week. So
John was saying it would be nice if we have some more scenes. We got 12 different scenes that we can put stuff in for our broadcasting software. And I hear there's more powerful broadcasting software out there. I was talking to Laura at LSR TV. And by the way, I wish her all the best. Yep. Did you read her post? Great lady, and she's ill and taking a step back from LSR TV, one of the broadcasting companies, I guess you could say, that does sim racing broadcasts. But anyway, she uses one of the ones that we were looking into, the one that was native through YouTube.
Yep.
Anyway, getting totally off track there, but anyway, Laura, if you happen to be watching, we wish you the best and a speedy recovery. Hope you get through this okay. So, more simulators. Did we talk about that?
Let's talk about that. Do you want to get to this?
Let's get to that last.
I want to do poll question. Okay. Let's get to the poll question.
The super secret unboxing.
Yeah, so
that's what we're talking about.
So, decide not to do a new poll question this week, because don't always have to have one. But here's last week's poll question results, and the question of all this rally talk we've been having is, do you race rally titles? And pretty much 77% said yes, 23% no, so that's 3 out of 4 people whether it's through the show or on our forums, or let's just say sim racing in general, like to race and do race rally titles, which was pretty impressive.
I think I was one of the yeses this week.
Yes, and I believe I voted yes as well. Which, if you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have said no. So yeah, that's good to see, and it also kind of explains, I feel like, the enthusiasm behind rally discussion. It seems like anytime rally gets brought up, people get very excited about it.
It's really popular. I mean, and we see it in our view counts.
Yes.
Anytime something rally related comes out, and we get, especially if we get something exclusive, man, our view count goes through the roof on it. So, yeah, that was a cool poll. Yeah, and John said he's gonna take a break from the polls. And actually, I just read in the dashboard of YouTube, there's a way for us to add polls on YouTube. So I'm gonna try to see if we can add one to where it's in the card. So I think it's like up over here. Yeah, if you're watching, I think up over here, there's a way to get to the cards. And I think we can do a poll. So anyway, we're going to try that maybe for next week. So we talked about the N1 coming. And we got the track racer. Were we going to talk anymore? And we got the Stage 4. All of our Stage 4 stuff is here now.
Yeah, and you were saying you're probably going to start working on getting that Stage 4 built.
Probably today. I got to break down. I kept my Frankenrig set up so we could do the American Truck Simulator.
Yep.
But now I think it's time to break it all down. And I'm like, I can't wait to get the Stage 4 set up, but one of my potential hurdles is that my monitor stand is not going to fit around it, so I may have to get a longer piece of extrusion tubing. So, but then it's just breaking all that down, moving it all out, and then putting all the Stage 4 together. But I'm really excited to get that going. So now should we have the super secret unboxing?
Yes. This is a drum roll.
You guys are probably waiting for like, I know they're waiting for a piece of sim racing hardware.
I did a bit of a McLaren PR move on you by getting you guys all excited, and then.
So this came a little bit sooner than we had expected, and we got a nice letter from YouTube to congratulate us on 100,000 subscribers, and we got our plaque. So you can order this if you get to 100,000 subscribers. And if you guys look here, it's got our the other side over here. It's got our name and stuff. But anyway, we're going to be probably hanging this on the wall, maybe somewhere behind us. But anyway, really proud of this. Thank you all. If you are subscribers, if you're not, we'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. But yeah, it says congratulations for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. This is a really nice plaque.
It is.
And I'm really proud of this. John, you should be proud because you definitely have contributed to this. And I said this when we surpassed 100,000. I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved in the show for helping us get there. Sean Cole, Jessica Lopez, Tom Hackey, Warren Desper, Molly Allen, who's done some editing for us, Kimbo May, who did some editing for us. Anyway, thanks to everybody that was involved. Thank you, John. But anyway, very proud of this, and we're gonna display it proudly.
Yes. No.
Where did I put the lid?
Where did you put the lid?
Oh, it's right here.
Oh. No, it does look great. That's pretty awesome, and I mean, being the first. I assume the first sim racing centric channel to 100,000 subscribers.
I don't know of any others.
I don't know of any others either, so I think it's safe to say.
One that not to toot our own horn, but one that focuses on hardware, not just a gameplay channel.
Not just
I think we could have surpassed 100,000 subscribers a lot sooner.
Yes.
If all we did was gameplay, because gameplay just
it's so popular.
Yeah, it just goes through the roof. And actually, we've been talking about potentially adding a lot more gameplay to the channel in conjunction, not to take away from any of our reviews, but maybe even bring someone on board that just does gameplay for us and fills our channel with gameplay. But anyway.
We did it! Mission accomplished. Hang the banner.
Yeah.
Close up shop.
And by the way, thank you guys for the, and Jason Dunnington, thank you to him for being part of the show at one point. Thanks for all the great comments in chat. I really appreciate it. And for the congratulations. So, moving on.
With that said, I believe we're at Q&A.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one was from an email that I got from a guy named John. And he's fairly new to sim racing. His question is about monitor versus TV. Funny thing is that the similar question came up in chat before the show. He's got a GeForce GTX 750, Intel Core i5, 4460, 3.2 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, 1920 1080, and he's playing on a 46-inch Sony HTV that claims to have 120 hertz refresh rate, but he thinks he's only getting 60 refresh rate, 60 hertz. And most likely that is the case. I don't know, and maybe you guys can tell us if there is one. Is there a TV, consumer TV, that does true 120 hertz? I don't know of one that there. Well, I don't know of one that does, because that's 120 hertz supposedly.
Yes.
But we cannot get it to go to 120 hertz like through Windows and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, like when we have Sebastian Loeb fired up, it defaults us at 60 hertz.
Andreas Nie is another one I have to thank.
Yes, Andreas.
For the German dude, someone said. Yes, he has definitely contributed to the subscribers and our view count. So I'd like to definitely thank him as well. So anyway, back to John's question. He runs iRacing, mostly oval stuff, and he runs at the recommended setting of 84 frames a second. And he's scared to tinker with anything because he's not computer savvy. Is there a way to max out your TV more? No. You can't overclock your TV. I've heard you can overclock monitors as far as the refresh rate.
I have heard that.
I would be a little scared to do it. Somebody's saying a few Sony's Vizios. The LG OLED TVs are 120 hertz. Those things are bucks, though.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I can see the OLED TVs beginning to have the higher refresh rates.
So continuing on with his question, he feels he's a decent driver. Would it be beneficial to get a monitor instead? And I'd say once you go to 120 hertz monitor with a low latency and stuff, it's hard to go back to a TV because, not that it's hard, you can definitely adjust, but you definitely see a difference.
Yes.
And the biggest difference I see, and my friend Scott Holmes just encountered this. He was running like on a 42-inch TV or something like that through a laptop, built a PC, transitioned to the same monitors I have, the 144 hertz BenQs, 27-inch BenQs. He said, dude, I feel like I'm cheating now.
Yeah. He
felt like it was such a more fluid experience that he felt like he was cheating. So anyway,
yeah, and
I think it's worth the upgrade.
Well, and it goes back to what I was just talking about earlier with Sebastian Loeb. On a TV, it wasn't drivable. I was struggling. On a monitor, I could drive it.
Yep.
So it's just, you want to be on a monitor.
We're going to do a test, too. We're going to boot up iRacing on that TV we were talking about and see if we can see. And we never run with the wheel on.
Correct.
So it's hard to tell if we're getting, like, major input lag, but and it doesn't seem like we are because we're able to drive it. I mean, we did those test drives recently on that setup. So we're going to see if we see visual input lag on some of the higher end titles. But
yep.
You know what? To answer your question, John, in a nutshell, he was asking, are there any 32 to 40 inch monitors? He's looking at the BenQ 35 inch. Anything? First of all, I think it's hard to find something above 27 inches.
Yes.
That doesn't or that goes into that 120 hertz, 144 hertz, or even 200, I think, is the top.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking, if looking at a single monitor, you're looking in that BenQ price range.
Yeah, and that 35 inch, since that's an ultra wide, that's a 21:9 aspect ratio, so it's the same height as a 27. So you just kind of have a stretched screen. But like Darren was saying, once you get above 27 in a traditional 16:9 aspect ratio, it gets a little tougher to go larger. I believe there's some out there, but price-wise and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is, would recommend 27-inch at least or above, and at least 120 hertz, or a lot of them now are 144. That's kind of been the standard to replace 120. But yeah, you definitely want to be up in that refresh rate.
Yes, for sure. Getting some great questions coming in. I'm taking down your guys' questions. So.
Okay, let me read the next one here.
Go
on the
for
list. Brandon Trossel asks, "Hi John and Darren, will you be test driving the iRacing Audi and Mercedes GT3 cars before the next build, similar to what you did with the McLaren MP430?" Yes, we will be.
Yeah, and Imola is potentially coming soon
Potentially,
too.
yeah.
So
Well, we do know the Renault 2.5, 2.0 is coming. One of the Renault open wheel cars.
Open wheel car. Yeah.
I can't remember which decimal place it is, but it's the slower one. That's coming in next build, so we'll also be checking that out too.
Yeah, I really want to try G-Sync or FreeSync. Crazy Dan just mentioned something about 144 hertz and G-Sync. Yeah, I really want to try that.
Yeah, I want to try.
Some people swear by it.
I want to try and
greatest.
see what a difference it makes when you do dip below, when you're at like 100 frames per second or 80, and see, because I mean the BenQs that I have without it seem to handle in that 80 to 110. Pretty much if I'm in the 80s or above, it handles it really well. Like I'm not noticing any visual, like I said, snags on the screen or slowdowns. So, and I mean the whole idea of G-Sync and FreeSync is that you absolutely eliminate any of those issues. So I'm curious to try it and see if it does make that big of a difference. 2.0. Thank you, Renault 2.0.
I thought so. Okay. I wasn't going to correct you though, because I wasn't sure if I was correct in correcting you. So let's see. Next question here. So wait, which one did you just ask?
I asked the second one from Brandon. So next up we're with Holy.
Oh, we missed the this name be great question.
Oh, we did.
Are triple screens worth the money? Do they enhance your experience enough to warrant spending over $1,000 on them, or would a high-end wheel be a better investment? Upgrading from a T300, T500 to an AccuForce, etc., or will I wait for the Oculus CV2 to come out? That's a great multi-tiered question there.
Yes.
And John said triple screens would be a better investment. And I agree to an extent, but it really depends on what single monitor you're running currently. And if you really plan on going to an Oculus.
Yeah.
So I think it's really a toss-up. If you're running a fairly decent size, even a 27-inch, 144 hertz monitor, then maybe get the wheel now and then get the monitors later. Or you can get the monitor now. I mean, T300 to T500 is a great setup.
Yeah, I mean.
So, it's really what you want to do, and I think it's a great question, but I don't know. Me personally, man, I think I'd probably want to go, I don't know. It's really a toss-up because I love having triple screens and I can't imagine running without it.
Yes.
But I also love running with the AccuForce now and I can't imagine running without it. So I think it's kind of a toss-up for me. And I think John said triple screens first.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like running the T300, so that's kind of my setup. T300 and triple screens right now. The Oculus, we can't, like I keep on saying, we don't really know we have a CV1 yet. So until we get a chance to actually try it out.
Charlie, I offered him a cookie if he was quiet, and he just barked.
Charlie lost his cookie.
He did it last week. He went the whole show without barking.
He did great. Next question.
Charlie hears one little noise and he starts barking.
I know.
Like I could go like this. God forbid I make a knocking sound. He'll go ballistic. Man, Mr. Protective.
I think he heard his name. Holy5223 asked, John and Darren, on the dirt leaderboards, what percentile do you guys place in and what class do you use the most? I would love to track you guys to see how you measure up.
Upper 1%.
Very top.
I don't know. You know what? I have never really kept track of it. And I haven't spent enough time to really get good enough to focus on it. I would love to. I wish I had enough time in the day between SLRE, WRC5, Dirt Rally, Assetto Corsa. Someone asked if we're going to do KartKraft. Yes.
Yeah.
American Truck Simulator. I mean, it's...
We have a tough time sticking onto something long enough to really, work on those times.
Because we got to jump to the next.
We got to bounce around.
Greatest thing.
Which is okay, because the whole idea here is we're trying to cover all of this for you guys. so you can figure out what you like and then go down that path. And that leads me into, I did think of a poll question like an hour before the show, and I'll post it next week. But I was wondering how many sims a week do you drive? That's gonna be the question, because some people I know just focus on one. Like for the longest time, I was just doing iRacing only, and took all my attention. And then
I'm sorry, I'm looking at. I gotta post. I gotta talk Wim's. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, but
this is a great comment.
But there's a lot of people that I see out there who it's like you guys race like everything, and I'm always thoroughly impressed. So I'm curious about that. So that'll probably be an upcoming poll question.
That would be a great question. Since you guys, so you're not wondering what I was just laughing at. Wim just posted. Wim, by the way, who runs BSim Racing, so check out his site, bsimracing.com. It's a great blog. I still have a problem with the fact that the riff isolates you. Your house could burn down while you race. That's true, though.
I worry about the same thing.
What if you had a cold and you couldn't smell, and all of a sudden you're like asphyxiated by the freaking smoke and you die because you didn't know your house was on fire?
That would be how I would go. Considering how
you wouldn't see the smoke.
How congested I am, that is how I would go. Yeah, I don't know. I get a little antsy at night, especially if I used to live out like in the country in like middle of nowhere, North Carolina, and stayed at my buddy's house, and I was even there for a while after he moved. And there was like there was like 4 entryways into the house, and at night once in a while we would lose the lights outside, and it'd be like pitch black out in the middle of nowhere, and I'd always be like, I don't like this. So I've always worried about that in general.
Being a little claustrophobic?
Well, yeah, that, and also even when I run headphones when I race, I'm at a volume, and with triples, I'm zoned out. Someone could come up behind me and just be like, hammer, and I'd be done. It'd be done. So it's kind of like...
that's just my like.
It probably shouldn't be a concern, but it always does concern me.
I've thought it's crossed my mind, and then you add the Oculus to it, and that's
a whole nother level of your gone in a whole nother world.
Wim's basically said the same thing as Rig's position to the door. I even feel weird when I have to race with my back to the door.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's like, don't piss off somebody too bad while you're racing, because like they're gonna come up with like a freaking like one of those wires.
Oh, I'm glad.
Motor Sim Racing, you don't have to. Motor Sim Network, don't ask your question again. I've got it here, and I will answer that in a minute. I got one.
I already got that. I wrote that question down too. We got it. Let's see. I don't want to answer. No, let's see.
What?
Huh? Oh, just this, because we've already kind of. There's a question of what do you guys think of WRC5?
Orange J92 asked that.
And I mean, I haven't driven it yet. It's on the list to get to. I watched Darren drive, and I kind of said I'll pass. So that's my current thoughts on it. It didn't blow me away initially. Now that I'm getting into Sebastian Loeb, now I kind of want to jump back to WRC5 and see.
T-Bone. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Don't let the girlfriend know that she could whack you with a hammer while racing.
I've thought about that.
Like, don't piss off the girlfriend and I think there's a lady watching, and no offense, like during that time of the month, you could end up dead.
It would be a great way to kill someone. We're putting ideas out there. Bad ideas. Okay, back to good ideas. Jake Dombrowski asked, any suggestions in getting better force feedback in Forza on Xbox One? Mine feels weak and numb. I'm interested in what you're running and setting-wise. I don't know if we've done anything in the video that shows our settings. I think in our first test drive...
We cranked them all up. I mean, and it depends on which version of Forza you're running. If you're running Forza 5, it definitely got better in Forza 6.
Forza 5 is just weak. Like, there's really nothing you can do.
It was weak. And it did, I think it got better in Forza Horizon 2, and then Forza 6.
Yeah.
And then, but go run like F1 2015 or Project Cars, and the force feedback's stronger in those titles as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they need to get it to where 100% is like almost at a clipping, because it's going to vary per wheel.
Yes.
One with this, like a Fanatic Club Sport, we were feeling more.
We were feeling more.
Sure.
We were.
But then you go down to like, the
TX.
the TX or the G920, and it's just not as strong.
Yes.
So it would be nice to be able to crank it up, a little bit more. Maybe they haven't because they don't want to damage anybody's wheels.
Yeah, I always wonder about that, especially on like a console.
So I'll take the next one. Fran77 says, John, you have a twin in Liverpool, United Kingdom. He works in a candy shop, and he served him on Sunday. He can get a selfie picture for you. Please do.
Get it.
You know what?
Let's see this.
Fran, get us that selfie, and we will post it on the show. We'll do it side by side. Yeah, we'll do it side by side on Doppelganger.
That'd be great.
Anyway, that would be funny. And Krista, I'm sorry we offended you. As a matter of fact, Krista, I got a question that you asked here, but please don't be offended by that. So speaking of which, she was the next question, I think.
She was.
So, and we touched on, actually, no, we had one before that. This one was one of the funny ones.
Oh, okay.
And Rotten Steam, thank you for this. Really appreciate this comment. Darren, have you considered dyeing your hair? Hashtag just getting old stuff things. No, I will never dye my hair. Because you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, I guess I have considered it because it would definitely make me look younger.
But you got that silver fox thing going. You don't need to do it.
Well, but here's the thing too. I would go from this, excuse my hat hair.
Looks good.
You like that? I would go from this to like that. That's pretty close to my natural hair color. And all you guys would be going, look, Darren dyed his hair. It would be like seriously noticeable. So, no. I'm not going to dye my hair.
Hey, you have plenty of hair, so you're way ahead of the curve for most people.
That's the thing. I'd rather have, no offense to you guys that have lost your hair. Because if I did,
it's a shame. I feel like mine's going the wrong direction.
I'd just fully lose. Do you have any on your mom's side? Because supposedly it comes from your mother's side.
It's on,
your grandfather.
It's been hit and miss. There's been bald and not bald.
So yeah, I'll never lose the hair. I guess I can't say never, but I probably would by this age.
You're doing pretty well.
Okay, Krista Borgman's question: are there police that chase you and pull you over in American Truck Simulator? Now, Krista, go watch our piece that we posted. It was the last video before this one, and John got a ticket. Did you get a ticket?
I got a ticket.
And it basically just, you hear a cha-ching, you get rung up, and the cops will start flashing their lights, but you don't actually get pulled over.
Yeah, and you know what? I wish you got pulled over, and then B, the cop was ahead of me, and I wasn't even speeding that bad, officer. and I got a ticket, so I was kind of like, what? I don't know. I didn't. I'm not sure about that.
Ryan Mountfield, hold on, let's see if we got we got your question. I got it. We'll get to it in a minute here. We got a few ahead of you.
Okay, next question. Fiero SS has a couple questions here.
Do you remember the Pontiac Fiero?
Yes. Yeah.
The early ones used to catch on fire.
Kind of interesting looking. I always like Pontiacs, but I'll ask my question now since I can't stick around for the whole show. Is there any handbrake option for the PS4? I'm running a T500 RS and TH8A shifter. Not that I'm aware of. Correct?
No, I'm not aware of it. You can't do that mod that we did, or that change it to analog mode. That doesn't work. So, yeah, not that we know of. I think it would be a great peripheral for the console, because a lot of people love to drift, especially like that Slap Train guy. Man, he's Mr. Drift on like Forza and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, Krista works for the EPA and wants to ban your sim race cars. Did you read it? Did you hear about that? The EPA wants to ban the ability to modify. So I couldn't take my Camaro and turn it into a full race car.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That's stupid.
That is ridiculous.
And it makes me think, man, I better like do my shit now.
Yeah. Like, before seeing grandfathered in.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty hot rodded out now, but I mean,
it's the EPA. I mean, how fast do they move?
Yeah, true. Well, it's got to be government approved, right? Not just the EPA.
Yes. Oh, and then following on, FRSS had another question that was in the same kind of idea. You guys talked a little bit about it last week, but I would be interested to talk about a dash app since Project Cars now has app support on PS4. Something we need to check out.
Yeah, and I hit that guy up. I mentioned.
Oh, that's right.
And he said he's sold out of them so much that he didn't have any in stock.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it was a Dash app. I think that was a button box.
I think that was a button box.
But we should look into that.
Yeah, gotta look into the Dash apps.
Okay, Ryan, here's your question. Ryan Mountford. This is to both of you. So this is both of us. My fiance is buying me a wheel for the Xbox. Should I get a Thrustmaster TX or a Logitech wheel? TX.
TX.
Yeah, I would go with the TX. Logitech's a good wheel. I mean, it works fine. I just prefer belt-driven wheels, and it's not because we're sponsored by Thrustmaster.
It's just
honestly, we're sponsored by Thrustmaster. We're not sponsored by Fanatic. If you can afford it, the Club Sport is the best wheel for that platform.
Yeah.
For the go watch our buyer's guide, Ryan. We just posted within the last month or so. Earlier in the year, in 2016, we did an Xbox One wheel buyer's guide, and we pretty much give our opinion there. So, but anyway, I would go with the TX.
Yep.
Motor Sim Network, your question, who we banned last week for the Bieber questions. Would you guys consider making an iRacing league? Get someone to broadcast on your channel? No. And the reason, you know what? If someone had mentioned get a bigger staff. I mean, honestly, if we had the budget to hire more staff, I would love to run a bunch of different leagues.
Yes.
But the bottom line is we just are so limited on time. I can't even set aside the time to race in leagues, let alone manage one. And trust me, I know, because before Inside Sim Racing started, I managed some of the biggest leagues in sim racing. And it is a lot of work, and it took away from my racing, which I started the leagues mainly for the racing, and it just took away from that. And we did broadcasts and all that stuff. And it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy doing it, but it's honestly so time-consuming that we were going to do a special event in iRacing at Nordschleife, and honestly, we kind of shelved it because it's just a lot of work logistically just to get it all together, and then you most likely don't end up racing it because you're an admin, or an official in the race. So anyway, it's just a lot of work. Again, if we had more time, we would do it. And even affiliating with somebody, we sponsor leagues and stuff, not monetarily, but people want to, a lot of times promote us or affiliate themselves with us, and we'll do that. But it's just, man, it's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Well, everything you said. Anytime I've heard of anyone who runs a league, they say the same thing. It's a lot of time. And it's just, we just don't have the, we have some time.
Trust me, and even recently doing the iRacing special events, the 120 Minutes of Thunder and the March on Michigan, those were a ton of work, getting the sponsors and all that stuff. And anyway, it's a lot, and it's honestly not a lot of work and it's, I didn't do it for the recognition or the pat on the back, but you don't get much appreciation for doing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, next.
Euclid, are you taking a look at KartKraft? We will take a look at KartKraft when it's released.
Hopefully pre-release.
Pre-release would be cool.
I've reached out to them, and we would love to have it pre-release. And again, I've been talking to Zach Griffin for years about it. It looks awesome. We talked about it earlier in the show, and we would love to.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so glad. So glad someone asked this question because I kind of forgot to talk about this. Banana Z73.
I knew you would like this question.
What do you guys think about iRacing choice for the Nürburgring 24-hour? So I'm not entirely sure if anything's confirmed yet, but they kind of threw it out there to the forums. Currently, the Nürburgring 24-hour race is supposed to be GT3 cars only, I believe.
That was the initial,
That's the initial, what came out on the schedule.
Plan.
The schedule that was released last month. Well, now, I think a lot of people wanted multi-class because the actual 24-hour race has GT3 cars and has some slower cars. Well, now iRacing has floated the idea out of having it be like, getting rid of the GT3 cars and having it be a multi-class race with like 5 different cars. And I believe, off the top of my head, correct me if I'm wrong, It's the C-Spec roof. The Kia is on there. The Ford Mustang. The Miata. It's going to be the 2016 Miata. It'll be out by then. And then the Volkswagen.
That was a maybe.
Maybe.
On the Volkswagen.
Maybe. So that
In
was.
fact, I can go to the website right now.
So that was 5 cars out there running 24 hours around the Nürburgring Nordschleife combined circuit, VLN circuit, and
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
I don't like that combo at all.
This is my biggest complaint. iRacing, these world events are designed to recreate the actual event. The actual event is a show-off for GT3 cars. It'd be nice if they had another car that matched up well for a lower class, but multi-class around the Nordschleife is going to be crazy because you just for most of the lap there's no good opportunities to pass, and it's going to lead to more crashes, and that's just all bad for everyone. So
they're hosting a session. They were hosting a session
on Monday night to try it out.
Was that last Monday? It was, because this was posted on the 4th. So
yeah,
this was just
a couple days ago.
So it was the roof C-Spec Mustang FR500S, the new Mazda MX-5, the Kia, and the VW TDI. I just don't like that combo.
Well, and besides that, they're also cars I don't want to drive. Like, none of those cars, I mean, probably my favorite car of the group there is the Miata. And I don't want to drive that slow around the Nordschleife.
I like the C-Spec roof.
I'm terrible at the roof.
I enjoy driving that car.
You're better at the.
The Kia is a cool car. Mm-hmm. I think that. So I don't know. I just don't. The Mustang is such a street car. I don't think it fits. I mean, even the Mazda MX-5, even though it's not as fast, is a racier car to me. Anyway, I don't like that combo at all. But maybe some people will. We'll probably still run in it. Even with, no matter what combo they end up running.
Sure.
Probably pick one of the cars that we do like.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Kia. That'd be kind of neat.
Maybe the Kia, yeah. I don't think I've ever driven the Kia, to be honest.
You know, actually, I think I'll wait and see which class has the most participation, and then maybe go that route. So,
yeah, I can't imagine a lot of people signing up for the Volkswagen.
Someone said they must put flashlights on iRacing cars. Didn't they announce that they're going to do flashing lights?
No.
Flashing headlights? I thought they did.
I think they're working on it.
So it is potentially coming.
I think it's potentially coming, yeah.
So, anyway, next question, which was a great question. I was looking forward to getting to that one. Okay, next one is Nicholas Bradshaw. Any update on David Cater making it to iRace for Life? As far as I know, as of right now, he is planning on going, and I'm really hoping he does too. He's a great guy, and man, his classes are just incredible, and you can get a lot from him. Oval Racecraft and Oval Setup. So I'm really hoping. He's had some health issues, and I doubt David's watching. I think I did mention him.
Yeah, a week or two ago.
So I hope David's doing better.
It'll be nice to actually meet him, since I did a lot of racing with him back 2010.
Really?
Racing the B class in iRacing. We were drafting buddies for a few races at the plate tracks. So, always seemed like a real good guy.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy. So, Nicholas, to answer your question, I'm truly hoping that he's there, because honestly, iRace for Life would not be the same without David Cater.
Yes.
So, I think he's been there every single year. So, next question.
Sal Tech asks, would you say that the Bowden load cell mod on the T500 RS is significantly better than the conical brake mod, and is it worth the price?
Yes, I think it's worth it.
Was the Bowden one we tried? Or was that
the Bowden was the one for the T3PA.
Okay.
The standard T3PA pedals.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
I think both the Ricmotech and the
are
both worth the upgrade.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to a load cell definitely makes it helps with your braking.
Yeah, it makes a difference, and both are made well. We haven't had any issues with them.
No. Gear of Espset. Greetings from Norway. Greetings from the U.S. Don and Jaron, you have a good show. John and...
Did you say Darren and John?
Darren and John, you have a good show. Thank you for that. Updates on Gran Turismo 7 release date, please. We have no idea.
We don't know.
As soon as we know, we'll definitely let you guys know. Gran Turismo Sport is going to be coming before Gran Turismo 7, which I think Sport's going to act like a prologue, like they did with Gran Turismo 5. So, anyway, no idea. Quentin, you got a question?
Nope.
Quentin Vermeulen, would you rather sell your car or your sim?
Oh, man.
Now, look, I guess to expand on that question, sell your car and be without a car?
Yeah, that's the whole question. Because, I mean, you know, I'm making payments on the car, so I sell it these days.
Well, that's your transportation.
That's my transportation. Yeah, A, I need transportation. But B, if I could replace it with something else, I don't know. It's neither of these are good, and I don't want to do either.
So now I can answer that from a different standpoint. I have 3 cars. I have my truck, I have a Saturn Ion, and then my Camaro. And would I sell one of those 3? Truck, no, I would not sell because I need that to tow my boat. The Saturn I would definitely sell. And the Camaro I would definitely consider selling. Because I've kind of gotten to the point where I've actually thought about selling my truck Camaro and my Saturn and buying a nice new truck. But then every time I think about selling the Camaro, I go and drive it, and then I'm like, I can't sell this thing. It's too fun. So anyway, that was a great question. It would be tough. I mean, if that was my only transportation, then no, I could not. It would be sim first. That was a cool question. Definitely different.
Yeah.
You want to take the next one, Jake Dombrowski?
Yeah, it said, John, what's your Xbox and PSN gamer tag? Xbox is John ISR, I believe. I don't believe there's a space. It's just John ISR. PSN gamer tag, I believe I haven't been on the PlayStation like on PSN forever. I believe it's JR Sable 3918. I believe, and maybe if you go and check it out, you'll see that I haven't been on in like, I don't know, 6 months. So, but yep, those are those.
Those are those.
Those are those. That makes no sense.
Tim Hansford, Apex V Gear. It's great to see you guys are actually awake this week.
I feel good. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. That's
me too.
That's a record.
Jamie, you want to race me on PS4 P cars? That'd be cool. He just challenged me actually now. He challenged me again. Here's another question back to that last one. Sell the Camaro to John, then borrow the keys. Borrow the keys.
I've already had one project car. I don't need a second one. Let's see. Peter Ensler asked, should do a poll to see what wheelbase people use to see what's popular. Oh, that's a good idea.
That would be a good one.
I like that. Yeah, I like doing these polls, kind of checking in on the pulse of what you guys are into, all that kind of stuff. That's good. That's good to know. Let's see. Chunky Chucky, great name. You guys have convinced me I have to rob a bank for an AccuForce Pro. Darren, can I borrow your Camaro as a getaway car?
No, I don't think so. That's the last thing I need is my name tied to a bank robbery. And I know you're kidding, but maybe if you totally get away with it and slip me like 100G or something, sure. But no, I'm not condoning bank robbery, especially with my car.
I'm glad you grabbed this one. This was another one directed toward me. Robert Erling. John, did you use adaptive VSync when driving the American Truck Simulator? It was smooth playing. Have you converted yet? I don't believe in VSync because of the input lag.
And no, we weren't running it. We weren't
running it. It's never. I don't think it's ever been ran here.
Someone was saying that Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo ran better with VSync, and I remember that in an older, like one of the WRC titles, or maybe it was even MotoGP or their motocross, that it ran better with VSync, which VSync just creates input lag, or in general
It does.
can.
I mean, part of me wants to go and try it out now, to just see if anything has anything changed over the years. But I don't think it's the right way to go. But I'll at least look into it to give you a good answer.
Back to that challenging me on the PS4. The only problem is with me racing on the PS4, I do more gaming on my PS4 now than I do racing. I play Star Wars Battlefront. I finished Fallout 4. And now I'm playing Batman Arkham Asylum or Arkham Knight. And so I need to, and actually maybe I will soon, because I got to check out Sebastian Loeb on it. So maybe I'll hook up a wheel and do some racing.
Yeah.
Next question.
From Bone Racer, you want to get that one?
Well, hold on. Oh, you did the Chucky.
Yep.
Oh,
I got
okay. That was
those
the
ones.
Robert Erling is next.
I got that. I just answered
Okay.
that.
I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. Yeah, Peter Enzer, Fallout. Man, I loved Fallout. I freaking jonesed on that game. So Bone Racer, hey guys, greetings from Germany. Have you ever tested the Hirschingfeld Pro pedals? And can you pronounce Hirschingfeld? I think I just did.
The running joke.
Nils is a great guy, by the way. He
is.
seems like, and I've never met him in person, but I've interacted with him behind the scenes, and he's a great guy. Not to make fun of your name, I'm just making fun of the way you had Andreas pronounce it
Yes.
at the
iRace, or not.
Sim Racing Expo.
Yeah.
Hirschingfeld. I think I nailed that.
Have you ever tested? You've never tested them though, have you?
No. I wish I have. Aussie Stig just did, and he loved them. I don't know if you're still here with us, Mr. Stig, but anyway, I played Tomb Raider 2. I think I played that on the Xbox One though. Yes, I'm a gamer. I love my gaming. My wife loves to watch me play. She'll like, "You gonna play Batman tonight? You gonna play Fallout tonight?" She loves just watching the storyline.
And it's a cinematic experience these days.
Yeah, it is.
All these games.
Ooh, Witcher 3. Well, I wouldn't consider Fallout 4 really a role-playing game. It's definitely a combination of role-playing and first-person shooter, open world, which I like. I like that aspect of it. I don't like just pure role-playing. No offense if you do out there. I like to I like more of the interaction side.
I like to roleplay as a race car driver.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, we had a question, Orange J.92. How can I show my rig on the website? I'm not sure, is that showing it on the show?
I think he's talking about on the forums. So go to our forums. We have a SimRig section. Can we navigate to the website into the forums?
Let me see what
You're
I
in
can
the
do.
forums right there. Can we? Is there a way to change that?
1 second here.
It was on the poll.
Oh, the poll? Yeah, you're right.
So let's see if we can navigate and show you where the SimRig section is.
Yeah, let's jump to something.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Let's go live. And then...
So just click on SimRigs and cockpits over there to the right.
Oh, there it is.
You're right there. So if you go to that section in our forums, you can post, lots of people do post pictures of their rigs here. And it's a great place to share your rig. You know, there's some people, man, look at Gunstar, Uncle, 101,000 views on his Vision Racer VR3 with AccuForce. So I mean, you can get a lot of traffic, on your, your rig.
Yeah.
And great comments, and it's fun. I love people sharing their stuff.
Yeah, there's been some real great conversations in this section of the forums here recently, so definitely check it out.
The guy Chuck's Garage, who we shared last week,
Yes.
he's got a big thread going. It was one of the most popular threads on our site the other day. So
Yep.
yeah, go into our forums and share it there. We'd love for you to have it, and then if we catch it, we'll maybe showcase it here on the show.
Okay, let me. Jack R John and Darren, have you guys had an opportunity to try the iRacing 2016 MX-5? Have not. I don't know when that's coming out. I don't think that's going to be out next build. That might be a little later on.
Go ahead and take the next one. I'm going to copy this.
Oh, good. You blew them up. J Gaming Games. John and Darren, do you know
The slap train.
Oh, the slap.
No, I don't know, but I've watched plenty of his videos.
Yeah, don't know him.
We were just talking about him earlier. He's like total drifter.
Who did I meet? I met Top Cat, I believe, who's also one of the big YouTube guys when it comes to a lot of those Forza and drifting and stuff. I met him at the Ubisoft event in San Francisco, covering the Crew Wild Run release. So I got to actually hung out with him a lot. He's a really cool guy. It's has like 500,000 subscribers, and it's like 21 years old.
Well, that's where we go back. That's why I go back to the gameplay stuff. If we just focused on gameplay and commentary, doing gameplay, I think our subscribership would just go through the roof. Especially considering the type of the early access to content that we get.
Yep.
Someone was mentioning do another channel. We do have another channel. If you do a search for SRT Media, there's a separate channel, and we ended up getting almost 10 million views on that channel.
There it is. TC9700 Tomcats.
Yeah,
that's who I met.
Yep.
Yeah. God, I can't remember his real name. Anyway.
Tom?
No, it wasn't. I have it on my phone. Let's see. Where are we at? Fran77 asks, what's your thoughts, John and Darren, about DX12 API for iRacing? I don't have any thoughts.
Well, DX12 they're working towards DX11. DX12 is only in Windows 10 from what I understand.
Yeah.
So that would mean that everybody would have to run, well, unless they do like a switcher, but then they'd have to be developing for both DX12 and DX11.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to be going to DX12 anytime soon. I would think years away from that until, Windows 7, like Windows XP is no longer supported, and most people have transitioned to at least Windows 7. I don't see them making that transition.
Yeah.
So next question, Snowshoe.
It's kind of like Snowshoe.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. It's just a comment. Hi guys, loved your Daytona video. Keep going.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So yeah, John put a lot of hard work into that, and it came out really cool.
Sacrificed last week's live show for that video.
Yep. That's why he was so tired.
Yeah.
Alon, Q&A, rFactor 2 or iRacing for a beginner?
I mean, I prefer iRacing. I just like the whole system.
I do too. And it really depends on which route you want to go. Do you want to be a sim racer? So do you want to race against other people?
Yep.
And not that you can't sim race in the other titles, but
it takes like for rFactor 2, you need to go find a league.
Yes.
So,
doing the open servers is just not going to be that much fun, and there's not that many people doing it. But if you want to become a sim racer and really go down a sim racing career path, iRacing is the best place to go. They just came out with we didn't blog about that, some tutorial videos.
They did.
On how to get started in iRacing. We have our own tutorial videos that we've posted as well on getting started in iRacing. But I would go the iRacing route for sure. I mean, there's some great features on rFactor 2, but it's just, anyway, I would prefer iRacing. Mm-hmm. You want to take the next one?
Yeah, Jonathan Depew. Darren John, my frame rates in iRacing is locked to 60 despite my settings being 144. Any thoughts? Well, I wouldn't. In iRacing, you can set you can put a limit on your frames, and I wouldn't set it to 60. I would have that up, 144. I think I run mine at I have it like at 144 now, because I don't want the graphics card working any harder than it has to if I can't really take advantage of the more of more frame rates. Even though to some degree, I know I've seen Darren, you know, I've seen you run like 200. So, so yeah, I would say first off, if that's at 60, bump that up.
Well, another thing too is I'm wondering if you're running VSync, and then are you running? Is your monitor 144 hertz?
Yeah.
And are you running it at 144 hertz? Because if you're running through an HDMI cable, you're not going to get 144 hertz.
Correct.
So anyway, I think you need to check all that stuff, and maybe that'll help you solve your problem. There's a few different things few different scenarios that could be causing that. So, next question. We got Pablo GoPro in here.
He's in here.
What up, Pablo? We need to get you on the show, buddy. I mentioned that before.
Well, we got to figure out. We're still working on getting our whole interviewing people process better. We got to put some work into it.
Well, we talked about that. Funny things, we keep talking about that, and then we get caught up in other stuff.
I know.
But we need to try to get somebody on the show next week. I'm going to definitely work on that. I'm going to try to get Ariel Biggs. Matter of fact, let me see if she's on Skype right now. I'll send her a shout out. See if we can get her on the show next week. She is on Skype.
In the meantime, next question. BSGT98 asked, Darren, earlier you said you did a little drifting on LFS. What's your thoughts on drifting? You guys should try drifting on Assetto Corsa and rFactor.
You know what? When I spend some time with it, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this on the show before. It takes a completely different skill and mindset. Because in racing, you don't want to be drifting.
Correct.
I mean, you want to keep the tires from spinning, both under braking and through the corner, where drifting is the complete opposite. You want to keep the tires spinning and smoking. So anyway, it's a lot of fun to do. It's just, it would take a lot of focus.
Yeah.
And I started getting pretty good in that Live for Speed.
Yeah.
We were doing that piece on the handbrake. But again, it takes a lot of practice, and a car. You need to set the car up to do it properly too.
Yes.
So if somebody gave me a great drift setup, I would love to test it out some more and do some drifting. Yeah, Peter just said drifting on sims are damn hard.
Yeah. No, I mean I was struggling with it in Live for Speed. Of course, but like Darren said, haven't really done any of it, so it takes practice.
Yeah, back to Pablo. Wim just mentioned that Pablo did a nice Husinkveld. You know what? You didn't pronounce his name on your shifter review there, Pablo. So Pablo, did a piece on the Husinkveld shifter, and he was doing the carts. I think it was in Game Stock Car, just freaking manhandling those things. Did you see that video?
I didn't see it.
Oh man, he was just driving the hell out of those things. But someone was mentioning, I got something from DSD, Derek Spear Designs, and he sends chocolates with some of his packages.
Man, that's some chocolates.
Yeah, he sends chocolates with different packages. So someone says, I'm enjoying some chocolate. Jamal, I got my DSD and they sent me some candies along with the shipping. Enjoying some right now.
That's amazing.
And Pablo, I had chocolate from DSD. Tasty.
That's funny. Question BanW 1897. Any tips for modding TH8A for my wheel stand? Is wood strong enough and sturdy material for using the TH8A? Well, not if I'm shifting. I had to. No. Wood can definitely be strong enough if you're using.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're using wood screws and.
Well, look at the Deathmobile.
Yeah.
And the Ricmotech they're all made out of wood. Wood is
really good.
Super stable for making a sim rig. So
yeah.
If you build it right and you have supports, sure, it would be great material for a sim rig.
Yep.
So I think we're out of questions that we wrote down. Anything you can see here?
I have a couple over here on my screen. Let's see. Oh, MotorSim Network asked earlier, do you think iRacing will ever get the LMP cars? I don't know. I hope they do. I hope they get they need an updated, well, a couple of different LM classes. I want to see an updated modern prototype, which I know is difficult because they change every year. So that kind of makes it a bit tough.
Well, they did the HPD.
They did HPD, and that was years ago now. So
they're still using it.
They're still using it, yeah. So I really hope they get. I want to see a P1 car. That's what I really want to see. And then speaking of LM, I like to see some of the LMGT cars. Like I love to see the Corvette C7, and the new BMW M6, and where's some of the other new LM cars? Oh, the 4GT.
Oh, the new 4GT.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
So I would love to see iRacing have an LM class. I mean, they already have the official IMSA series, but they don't have any. I mean, they have the GT3 cars, but it'd be great if they had an LM class in there.
Yeah.
So, and also, and speaking of that series, the C7 Corvette Daytona prototype's about to go to the trash.
Yeah,
so,
and it just came out.
It just came. I know.
We just raced it.
I know. So it's gonna. Yeah. That race was probably the peak of its popularity. Another question from Wim earlier asked, whatever happened to the Honda HSV that was announced licensed for iRacing? iRacing said Honda never gave them any data for that, and it kind of got killed. So yeah, that was kind of the last thing. I think Steve Myers said that back in sometime in the last year. That sounds like that's just kind of a no-go. So
got some more questions here.
Yep.
Wilhelm de Vos. I've got a Logitech Momo, thinking of buying a new wheel, T150 or G29. Two different price points, really. The T150 is $200. The G29, I think it came down under 300. But then once you get into that 300 range, it's like maybe you should go with the T300. If you're on the PC, you could even go TX. So, we said it earlier. What would we take a? Well, then again, a T150 is like a hybrid belt gear system. G29 is probably a little bit better wheel though, and you get the pedals.
Okay.
The G29 pedals.
Okay.
So the guy was saying, I'm going from a Logitech Momo. Should I get a T150 or a G29?
I mean, I like the T150 steering wheel more, but like you said, you have to get T3PA pedals as well. I feel like the T150.
Yep, I agree.
So, Wim corrected me. That was what I said was about the Civic, but I never stated anything about the HSV. I forgot the HSV is that a super, what was it, Japanese Super 5000 series, 500, GT 500 series car, and yeah, I don't know what happened to that. That really fell off the face of the earth. That's a cool looking car.
Speaking about cars coming to iRacing, Michael T asks, karts at iRacing, yes or no? They've talked about it.
They've talked.
I think they even had one in alpha or beta.
They've talked about it, and I don't know. I don't know if they're planning on doing it, if they're going to do one or not. I don't know if it's really needed to some degree, because it's like you got this KartKraft coming out. There's good karts over in Game Stock Car, rFactor 2. I mean, to some degree,
KartKraft is coming.
I mean, to some degree, it's like, I guess, if iRacing did make it, it probably would be popular because then people who are in that universe, but
they'd need some kart tracks. Pablo was just mentioning that
they would have to go scan a lot of tracks.
Yep.
Which at least scanning and making those tracks is a lot quicker. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's something that they have to have.
Yep.
Ah, there it is. Super GT 500.
Sorry,
series.
Wilhelm, for killing your name. Peter Enzer, is there any add-ons for iRacing to get a track map? It would be really useful on oval practice so you don't leave pit and wait for people to come around. Well, you can kind of use the F3 screen right now, the relative screen, to kind of gauge that. Z1 Sim Dash has that. So you don't have to buy the whole dash, you can get the software. You have to run it on a tablet or a separate peripheral, but you can do that. And iSpeed doesn't have that.
I don't know.
I don't think iSpeed has that. I think the Z1 Sim Dash is the only one that does.
It's kind of funny wanting a track map, because I've always kind of raged against track maps. Like, it's like one of the first things I turn off. I'm like, this isn't sim-like. I don't need this. I'll just figure out the track myself. But
For a situation like that, though.
Well, I no, I get what he's getting at, and that's why, like you said, I think the relative. I think it does a good enough job for me.
You know where
Coming
that
off
would
the
really
road.
come handy? Oval practice, because you want to run with other people.
Yeah.
Another place that would really come in handy is like when we were qualifying for the 24 Hours of Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were trying to find open space. You know, we were going out in basically a 2 or 3 car tandem.
Yeah.
And Bruno was using us to draft.
Yeah.
And that would have really come in handy to see where other cars, see where the big gaps are on the track, and be like, okay, let's wait till this group passes us, and then we're going to go out.
No, I agree with that. That is true.
So Wim asks, when can we expect to see the first sim experience motion sim footage on ISR? By the way, it's not ISR.tv. It's ISRTV.com. Honest mistake, Wim. Just kidding. But anyway, hopefully by this time next week we'll have it ready. If I've got it all put together, hopefully we can show it for the first time on next week's show.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. In the manual it says it's 24 hours of build time. So that's just putting that together and then adding all of my components to it and all of that stuff. So
It's going to take some time.
it's going to be some work.
Yeah.
So, but I need to get on it because I really want to start driving it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you to drive it. I've driven the stage 5 with the rear traction loss and all that for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start tuning it for a
Yeah.
couple hours, then do some driving, and then tune it for some more hours, then do some driving, and then plus with the AccuForce, and anyway, I'm really excited to get that going.
And then once you get that situated, we kind of cleared out space for you to do that build. Then gonna put the Track Racer RS8 together, as the giant box that I unboxed a couple weeks ago is still.
We could almost
sitting
do it in
here.
conjunction. We could do it over there.
We could. I mean, to some degree, we haven't done it because just been working on other things, but that is also coming along the way in the building.
I think we're gonna wrap it up now.
Well, how about I give you one last question?
Okay.
Just because it's kind of a fun one to end
8
on.
minutes to 2 hours.
I know. This is like a throw a grenade in the room then walk out. Stephen O'Sullivan, what sim do you think gives the best bang for your buck? That's a very hard one to answer.
I don't think it's really throwing a grenade in the room and running.
Well, I say that. Yeah, it's not like a controversial question. I'm just saying because there's so many different answers. There's so many different angles. I'm sure there's answers all over the place. American Truck Simulator is only $20.
Yeah, that's a lot of bang for the buck right there.
Yeah.
Probably like Automobilista,
GameStop car gonna be Automobilista.
Assetto Corsa. I'm saying those two because not only do you get all the base content, but there's tons of mods for them.
Yes.
Back in the day, it used to be rFactor for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure ISI was hoping that rFactor 2 would become that next generation of that, but it never really took off as far as the modding goes. Seems like there's more coming though for it. But yeah, I'd say best bang for the buck is going to be either somebody said old Simbin titles for a few bucks on Steam. But yeah, currently it's probably Assetto Corsa or Automobilista, which is Stock Car Extreme. Those two.
Yeah. And yeah, those are probably the best ones I can think of when we're talking about just trying to spend the least amount of money to get into it and what you get.
Yep.
I think there's definitely plenty of other ones out there that are worth the price. I think iRacing is worth the price. I think Race Room is kind of a similar where you buy pieces of content that can be worth buying those different pieces. And also importantly, there's sales Steam. There's sales all the time. Like Project Cars was like 60% off on Steam last week or over the weekend. So there's plenty of sales out there to take advantage of.
Pablo just brought up, and we saw this on Steam. Stock Car Extreme Beta has become Automobilista Beta on Steam.
Yep.
And I was going through my Steam list because it was right next to American Truck Simulator. I'm like, Automobilista, it's showing now. So yeah, they changed the name on that. So is that it? You gonna wrap it up?
I think that does it. Successful show.
Assetto Corsa is on sale on Steam. On sale now on Steam. There's always some good deals on that too. So, anywho, John, why don't you take us out today?
Yes. So, thank you all for watching the February 10th edition This Week Inside Sim Racing. For Darren Ganji, I'm John Sable. See you guys next time.
Bye. Thanks for watching.